Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance. And this resistance video is a sponsored video sponsored by Megan for Anonymous. And here's Anonymous's story. Hi, Ollie. If you read this on your channel, can I please have a sponsor and remain anonymous? When I became an adult, my mom told me when I was younger, my dad would cheat on her and gave her gonorrhea a few times. He also had a child with another woman while married to my mom. The woman he cheated on my mom with worked in the same building as my mom. Her child went to the same school as me and my sister. I never knew of her until much later. My mom told me when I was around 3 years old, my dad went missing in action for a few days and came back showing her pictures of him sitting on a bike smiling. She felt that he may have gone on a mini vacation with one of his mistresses and played her for a fool. I may have been about 13 when my mom found out about the other child. My mom was so distraught that she would confide in complete strangers like the checkout lady at the grocery store. Around this time, she became born-again Christian to deal with her pain. She didn't want to get a divorce and be independent of my dad. She said she is not leaving her house. After all, he was not beating her ass. So a house and money was more important than her self-respect. She put all her self-respect in a house. It's always a red flag when somebody starts spilling their gossip to complete strangers. It's usually a sign of an ulterior motive. Even though my mom had a job, she depended on my dad to pay the mortgage and the bills. My mom paid tuition, bought groceries, clothes, and shoes. As an adult, I would ask her about insurance or some other type of bill or car repair, and she would say, "I don't know about that. I've never had to pay that before." Huh. So this is the problem here. You know, you get these people, and men do it too, that sell all their principles for a life of comfort. So, like, I have a hard time taking sympathy in someone like that. And then where she turns to born-again Christianity, which is nothing more than a guise for control through religion. My dad always looked up to his father. Come to find out, my grandfather was a cheater too. My grandmother waited on him hand and foot. She would cook a meal, tend to everyone, and after everyone has eaten, she would sit down and eat. They were old-fashioned Southern Christians. Anyway, my dad eventually stopped cheating and became a born-again Christian too. Cheaters never stop cheating. They don't stop. And they don't stop for Christianity. They get into Christianity to better manipulate their narcissism. Both my parents became self-righteous and judgmental. Exactly. They both got what they wanted. They're using each other, really, your parents. And they found Christianity to continue to do what they do. This one time I told my dad about my supervisor treating me like crap, and he said, "You need to start going to church." My parents think they're better than everyone. They're both retired now. They always talk about how sorry and pitiful my dad's brother is. My dad even tried to tell the guy who bought his old house from him how to cut the grass. The guy ignored him and walked away. One time my dad said to me, "Don't you think you ought to get a good government job?" That just goes like, look, people got to work for the government. There are jobs in the government that are obviously necessary. But when they're telling you to get a good they've given up. They're telling you to give up and give up on your dreams for some comfort. Sounds like that's what both your parents are about. And that's what's really sad about the narcissist. The narcissist sells out whatever dreams they may have for some fucking comfort or power or control. They never had dreams because they get lost, or their dreams get lost in the power and control. And ultimately, it's just miserable. Think about how sad that is. One of the last things I said to Erin when I talked to her, when we were talking on normal terms, was, "Oh, I want to be a teacher." And I told her, "Well, that's very nice, Erin, and it sounds very noble. Okay, but I don't want you to be a teacher." And she said, "Why?" I'm like, "Because it means you've given up. And you need teachers, obviously. But it's a government job, and people get into it for the wrong reasons. They get into it for the pensions and the tenure, and it's like, do something you really want. Is that really what you want to do?" Like, "Well, no, Mommy's a teacher." I'm like, you're giving up before you even started. This next thing really disturbs me. Several years ago, my cousin's pregnant girlfriend went into labor too early, and the baby did not make it. They had a graveside service for the baby. I went with my mom. While waiting for everyone to arrive, my mom and I sat in her car. My mom said in a low voice, "Maybe this is God's way of saying shacking is wrong." Your mother's just a horrible person, and you should take no pity on her or your father, because they both got what they wanted out of this. I was frozen in shock. When I bring up that statement she made now, she says she does not remember saying that. Right. But she believes me. She claims she would work on judgmental things she says, but I know neither of them will change. Well, it's kind of hard to work on judgmental things when you're following a religion that is basically nothing about passing judgment. It's all about just passing judgment on other people and holding yourself superior. This is just the tip of the iceberg of their narc shenanigans. What are your thoughts? Anonymous. Here are my thoughts. Anonymous. Okay? At this point, whether or not your dad was cheating on your mom or not is meaningless, because this really didn't bother her all that much. Because the only thing your mother wanted was comfort and to have her bills paid and things taken care of for her. So it was a write-off for her. You think your father stopped screwing around. He didn't. They don't stop. Especially born-again Christianity and born-again Christians. I mean, they're hypocrites. Most of these religious narcs are hypocrites. They do this to themselves. And it's all about this fake Christianity, this fake judgment. Well, no, the judgment's real. Your mother's so distraught that she's telling people that your father's cheating on her, but she won't leave. I mean, come on. They use each other. Your mother and father use each other. And then they got into this born-again Christianity as a cover to control everybody and everything, and to hold themselves up superior for the shitty lives they lead. Your father's a cheater. Your mother's an empty, vapid soul who's just all about money and her own comfort and being taken care of. That's just the way it is. You can't change them. That's the way it's going to be. Your mother knows. I mean, at least your mother knows how judgmental she is. Even though she denies the crack about God punishing your cousin for shacking. She denies saying it, but she believes she said it. What does that do? Like, what's the purpose of that? To admit it without really admitting it? To keep you frustrated? as far as their narc shenanigans, I mean, it is. You're right. It's just the tip of the iceberg, and it's never going to stop. And it's because your parents really don't like each other. Sometimes narcissists just serve each other's purposes. And you get caught up in that shitstorm. And that's what I think it is with your parents. Two narcissists who do nothing but serve each other's purposes. And they're not to be pitied. They're not to be pitied. Why tell you as an adult that your father was a cheater, by the way? I mean, what would be the purpose of that? Unless she's just trying to manipulate you and gain something out of it. Your mother's not to be pitied. Your father's not to be pitied. Their religion's not to be taken seriously because they are hypocrites. So, those are my thoughts on that. So, thank you for your story, Anonymous. Thank you, Megan, for sponsoring another story. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all you do as well. You've been great. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, or a Facebook live chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it successful, growing, and supported, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from you guys. Without you, all this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been the Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.